There we go. So each of our brides are going to be describing themselves, and we will start with our lovely first player in the bottom left hand corner of my screen. Would you like to introduce yourself and who you're playing and what your bride looks like?
Sure. My name is Whitney, she, her, and I am portraying uh, the vampire bride known as Selene, also she, her. Selene is a young woman. I want to say she's probably 21, maybe 22 years old. She is medium height and medium weight too. I would say not she's not fat, she's not thin. She's got curves. You can see it is womanly curves. But still healthy for the time period. Her skin is pale, as probably all the vampire brides are, but there's still a little hint of some form of pink to a little bit in the undertones of her pale skin. She is the youngest bride. She was just changed 3 years ago. So she is very young. So she still has some vestiges of possible humanity. Hair is long, wavy black hair. She usually wears it loose, but she'll also wear it back in a loose knot in the back of, right, in a psyche knot. She has deep green eyes. Um, her clothing style is simple but elegant. She prefers to be comfortable, but she recognizes the need to still wear fine fabrics and also hand embroidered.
Hello, name is Durmidge. First name Shane. That's just the handle. He, him. You can find me on Blue Sky. Thing of the same. The links will be up. And I am playing Carmilla. She, her. Uh, the second oldest and shortest of the brides. Uh, she is very voluptuous, sort of on the paler side. Long black hair as well, sort of in the region. Uh, she is she's been turned early, but she is feeling and potentially looking a little old. She has been at this for a couple centuries, and the weights of being in this game of gaining the favor of the worst men imaginable is tiring and has started to take a toll emotionally. But she is here and she is trying to do her best for herself and her sisters.
Hi, I'm Nova. I go by they and she. I am portraying Isabella. Isabella is a tall, uh, broad, imposing woman, but her face and the around her ribs is relatively gaunt. She is wearing still the remnants, the just like bared, tattered, centuries old at this point remnants of uh, an already ill-fitting wedding dress. It looks like it may not have actually been made for her own form. Uh, she has kind of dirty blonde hair, and it's back, but it's not held back. It's not tied back generally. It's streaked with just blood and gunk as she has scraped it out of her face as she went. And each time that she's seen, even though vampires heal the way that they do, she has fresh wounds um, across her face, and frequently does not clean the blood from herself after she eats. So is constantly kind of grungy and bloody in that way. And you can find me on Blue Sky at Dits Akimbo, and I'm sure the links will be posted.
I guess we're gonna do it this way. Hi, I'm Starshard.Stories. I am your storyteller. I am playing the grossest man alive, and I feel gross about it. Um, feel very icky about it. You can find me on various social media platforms, especially here on the Starfield, where this show is hosted. I own it. Hello. You can find me on Blue Sky. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on YouTube. But we hold various shows. Most of the things that we specify in mostly is horror themed gaming. Um, though we do have superheroes, and then we're gonna have some wild apocalyptic themes coming up soon. It's gonna be a time. But thank you for tuning in and watching this lovely yet dark show that we are presenting for you all. Chunk of this in the beginning. Okay, so now it's recording. Cool. Hi, welcome to Brides of Dracula once again. As a reminder, we do have a disclaimer at the beginning of every episode of this show, including resources that you may be able to use if it is needed. As always, these are our lovely brides. You've already seen their introductions. It's been 6 months since we last left off. The day has arrived to go to the von Aschenberg estate. The estate that so many people do not go to anymore. It was once considered a jewel in the Carpathian Mountains, a beauty, something, a sight to behold. Built at the foot of the mountains, at the edge of the lake, it was clearly visible from the Great Hall. 3/4 of it surrounded by high windows. And it testified the discreet elegance of the family. During the day, the gardens used to be full of life, laughter, smiles. Children from the noble families would play on the front lawn or by the lake, and the gates were always open to anybody who wished to visit it. Guests, dignitaries, local villagers. It was open to all. In the evening, the house was lit up like a lantern, golden lights reflected on the water, and music always filled the air at night. That was many years ago. Now, no one walks up the road to the estate. You no longer see the lights dancing on the water and the music. I wish I could say that only silence remains. So, all of you know, this residence also houses supernatural beings. Dracula's court and manor is not the only one. However, the Aschenberg Palace is a dense network of lesser nobles. This is a province. But this is a meeting of a lot of the lesser nobles. Y'all were technically invited, not really, by Aschenberg to come to this palace. There's people riding up in carriages up to the estate. All 3 of you are in a carriage together. Mind you, Linda happened to make a way for you to get out through the local nuns of the Sister Convents of Sisters Mercy.
Okay.
Because Linda made a small hiccup months prior that you all found out, as long as you visited the convent or were in contact with anybody in the convent, Dracula can't see what you're doing.
True.
So the three of you have been scheming things quite often at the convent. And if Dracula asks you what you've been doing, all of you have basically been stating you've been doing charity work, which he thinks nothing much of and just waves his hand up like you do whatever you want. Because a happy village means more potential brides for him.
Dang.
The carriage is quiet as you're getting closer to the von Aschenberg Palace. Selene,
Yes.
you feel an air of familiarity as you're getting closer and closer and closer to this estate.
That sense of familiarity kind of manifests as I'm sort of leaning my head against the window, just watching the night, watching the landscape unfolding before us. And it's a sort of like a pang, almost like a soft, wistful sigh escaping my lips. And I'm reaching up to touch the silver chain that's hanging around my neck. This locket, which which is almost like mingling like a worry bead, almost,
Mm-hmm.
or even like a rosary bead, just sort of reaching up and sort of absent-mindedly caressing it. Strange. Have I been here before? Have we ever been out this way before? Is what I ask the other brides.
Question: how old is Aschenberg?
Isabella, you would know he is in his 30s, nearing his 40s.
Like for time turned, or like physical age?
Age. His actual age.
So young.
Yes, and you
Really
don't
young.
know what type of supernatural he is. He keeps that under wraps.
Interesting.
Smart man.
Yeah, Isabella will just as she's, I think, just slowly carving lines into the fine wood of the inside carriage, just one after the next.
There are no holy symbols in this, and the nunnery made sure there were no holy symbols on this carriage, specifically for Isabella.
It's a problem. I imagine it was a problem the first time that came up.
It was very much a problem the first time you went into the convent.
Yeah, yeah. Just imagine, it's like a like a falconing shroud.
Yeah.
Uh, but she'll say, no, never seemed worth seeing. Just mortals, usually. I wonder what Ashley's up to.
As you get closer, the brides hear something on the air. It's like whispers, but you're not sure how to make it out. But every so often, all you hear is welcome. Welcome home. Welcome home. And the wind starts to pick up and rain starts to fall, which is giving a bit of a gloomy cast over everything, but the thing with rain is a symbol of hope as well. You get up to the gate, the gates creak open by two of the servants that work at this palace. You actually see lights in the house and one burnt wing of this estate.
Ooh.
Which
That's
looks
not
like part of it has been rebuilt. The carriage comes to a stop right before the foot of the stairs before you go into the palace. Your lovely little carriage driver hops down, opens the door to help each of you ladies out. Unfortunately, since Igor is dead, this would have been Igor's job.
Oops.
right. Rest in peace, Eagle. R.I.P. Rip.
Yep.
Uh,
There's Ashenberg standing at the top of the stairs with his cane, smoking a pipe, watching you all.
Isabella, not scrambling out of the carriage exactly, but definitely ignoring the footman entirely.
Oh.
Going. Just gonna. I think actually the first things I want to activate my heightened senses here.
Okay.
And I don't know how long that lasts for outside of conflict, but
It'll last until I say it does.
cool. But I imagine that there are all kinds of things to hear at an event like this.
There's no music. That's the first thing that's very odd. You hear heartbeats. Especially
Good.
from Von Aschenberg. You hear rain. You hear the subtle, in the distance, rumbling of thunder. Howling.
Von Aschenberg has a heartbeat?
Yes.
We don't have heartbeats, right?
No.
Hmm.
Okay.
Howling in the woods
That's interesting.
below. Howling in the mountains.
Full moon tonight?
It is a full moon tonight.
oh dear.
Good times.
So tempers are going to be raised and flared. But you also hear something that sounds like crying. Slightly distorted, ethereal, not quite present.
Okay.
But you look out of the corner of your eye, you see a wisp of an orb floating by and heading towards the burned part of the building.
More ghosts.
What about ghosts? Von Aschenberg calls from the top of the stairs.
Oh, what sharp ears you have.
What sharp teeth you have, Isabella.
They could be
Evening.
sharper.
Good evening, Lord von Aschenberg.
Good evening, Selene. Hello, Carmilla.
Just as a moment I want to have as I get out of the carriage, Carmilla's kind of, it's been a hard 6 months being the favorite, a lot of protective dissociation. Yeah. Yeah. So kind of sort of quiet on the way it's been emotionally and socially draining. I'm gonna say that I wasn't paying attention to whoever helped us out, but because I'm so used to it, I'm just gonna say thank you, Igor, to whoever that was.
Oh,
Just keep walking.
no.
I just not even clock that I've done that.
Madam, my name is not Igor. Igor died like 6 months ago.
Fully not listening, and is heading to Ashenberg, fully just walking by.
I'll be last after Carmilla gets out of the carriage, and I just sort of pat the guy on the shoulders, like, sorry, there's been a lot going on. I'm sorry. What is his name?
My name is Eric.
Okay. Sorry, Eric.
Isabella is absolutely failing to stifle laughter at that. Just a full snort, like
Not cluing in, gathering myself. No idea what I've just done.
that far gone already.
I have this is going to be a very difficult night. Anyway, yes, thank you for having us, my lord.
Yes, my party crashers, so to speak.
You always know we're good for a laugh, right?
Looks at Carmilla. Does the good girl have permission to be here tonight?
Wouldn't be a good girl if I didn't.
He looks at you like with absolute disgust as you say that.
Fully kicks me into the locking in mean girl. Like, all right, we're locking back in.
Anyways, ladies, welcome to my home. Some of the other lords are already here. They're already discussing things, though it is a bit surprising to see 3 of his brides here this evening, so that's going to be a bit... It's going to make them wary.
We understand.
We need not all be seen.
No. We can, as you see fit, we can come and go as you please.
He's motioning for you all to go. Isabella, are you about to go invisible?
Well, I'm not the one who's invisible, but I'm just sneaky. As we pass him and go into the door, Isabella is going to as soon as we're out of the eye line of people, maybe into a foyer or through the door or whatever, clamp a hand down on Carmilla's shoulder and kind of pull her, get out of the walkway and out of the path, and in sort of a low snarl into her ear, you are losing yourself too quickly. I don't know if you can see it yet, but all of the rest of us can see it. And if you let them, she's going to flick her eyes inward toward, where we're about to meet the rest of the court, see it too, you won't last as long as Helga.
I think she's gonna sort of look at your hand and go, God, I've always appreciated how strong you are. I can handle things. And if I can't, break my mirror.
Wow.
You know how like people crack their knuckles? I think Isabella's just going to like roll her shoulders in a way that just cracks all of the just way too many vertebrae, just that cracking sound, but without any like noticeable I'm doing that. Just kind of creepy inhuman thing there. And with pleasure, Milla, with pleasure.
Milla, nickname, I like it.
Nobody gets their full name. Fuck you.
So, question for you, dear narrator. So, I think over the last 6 months, Selene has been studying.
Yes.
She's been in the library, just sort of reading up on anything she could possibly find about the domain, the nobles, just kind of getting more of an overview of the political situation going on here
Mm-hmm.
and the significance of this meeting. I don't know if I saw the letters that Isabella got from Dracula's chamber last time. I don't know if she shared those with us or not.
Oh, I don't know what was in those letters. I don't think
Oh,
that happened.
no, it
No,
didn't.
I have. Uh, yeah. So I'm. That's gonna be a surprise to all of us whenever that comes about.
Yay!
Wonder-
I love a
Uh,
surprise. So, because of that, I'm just going off general overview of what's going on with the land, the little intricacies, that sort of thing.
So, from what you gathered, Dracula rules with a hard fist. Absolutely does.
No
A
shit.
lot of people fear him. A lot of people want to throw him to the wind, basically. But they don't know how to do it, considering he is as powerful that he is. You know the saying, a good myth is hard to kill. He is literally the definition of that.
Hmm.
A lot of the lesser nobles, which I'm not really going to give their names because they're not really that important,
Mhm.
have been talking about it. And a lot of the lesser noble families also betray each other quite often. This is
Wow.
all a game of pride, arrogance, and ego. As, of course, they're all monsters too. One of them will be like, all right, I'll stab you in the back and betray you to Dracula, so I can further up my thing, so I can do what I want. It has happened so many times. Yeah, however, Ashenburg has navigated the treacheries of the court life with a very calculated grace through it all. He knows how to play the game. He knows when to watch himself. He is careful. But in one of the papers, it stated that von Aschenberg had a wife. And then after some time, there's no reference to the wife in the records at all.
Hmm.
It vanished about 3 years ago.
Strange. Wonder if that has anything to do with the burnt out wing. Sounds like I'm gonna do a little exploring.
We'll get to your exploration in a little bit.
So in that case, I'm gonna look at the girls and I'm gonna say, I'm interested in sort of. I basically download to Carmilla and Isabella the generalities of what I know
Mm-hmm.
from what I've been reading and researching. And I say, so I would suggest we more to an eye of observing more than anything else. And definitely keep an eye on the manner of who we're interacting with. I would say that should be our big thing right now. In the meantime, I'm going to see if I can learn a little more about von Aschenberg himself. So I am going to go invisible and I'm going to go around.
I'm going to say there's no conflict. You automatically do it. Just make sure you move up a hunger on your dark gifts related stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to eat pretty well after this.
Yum. Y'all see as your sister wife vanishes. To go do things of the sneaky espionage related info gathering.
Have fun. More than we will.
Von Ashenberg just has a little smirk on his face as he's walking towards the ballroom.
Let's go dance with some snakes.
There's no dancing.
There's always dancing, Ashy.
Verbal dancing, probably.
Yeah, the worst kind.
Yes, something you're not great at.
She's gonna just stride off toward the ballroom or whatever.
He'll look over
Technically.
at Carmilla. She's in a good mood tonight.
For once, yes.
So how are you enjoying being the favorite?
Word is kind and generous. But there's going to be the flicker in the eyes, the knowing, not verbal sarcasm, but definitely body.
I thought you'd be a trapped bird in a cage. Glad that he's lightened up.
Oh,
He's learning new things.
there are some places that I don't have to let him in. It's nice to have little refuges, isn't it?
Let's hope he doesn't find out about him. Remember, Carmilla, there are eyes and ears everywhere.
We're going trusting this fucking man.
She's just going to smile. I think she's mostly put off from his comment earlier because she spent a lot of, she plays this game, but I think she had thought that there was something more genuine from Ashenberg between them.
It's genuine, but he's just off tonight.
Okay.
A bit more attitude coming from him than normal.
Oh boy.
Okay. I think it's definitely set her off into more of like a bit more like protective masking rather than the letting loose she was hoping for. So more business, less pleasure as it is. So.
Yeah, good. Now you have the proper front on. And then he'll continue into the ballroom.
This is not the safe place. This is not the safe place, Carmilla.
You see a bunch of the lords sitting around the table. Some of them are very lupine in shape. Sitting all out, fur out, sitting at the tables, discussing things. Though it's arguing and lots of snarling and growling. Part of the table's broken already.
Oh. This might be more fun than I thought it would be.
They all turn to look at you.
Just the highest fucking eyebrow arch. Just distendedly, impossibly, grossly high eyebrow arch.
One of the wolves looks over and be like, Steven, why are the brides here? And Von Ashenberg looks over. I thought we talked about not saying my first name in front of these lovely ladies.
Steven. What a wonderful name, Ashy.
Oh shit.
I like Ashy better.
I do prefer Ashy, but unfortunately, I'm already pale enough.
Well, maybe some ashes will bring the tone out.
I don't know, I do moisturize quite a bit.
A lot of heartbeats you'd said earlier. Just generally, like, looking around, Of the room,
70% have heartbeats.
that's a lot. That's a lot. You said there are a lot of lupine forms here. We talking
Correct.
like
Werewolves.
werewolves?
Werewolves.
Straight up fucking werewolves at this party. Okay. Okay. My people, maybe. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Isabella is feeling right at home among the werewolves tonight.
Somebody knows how to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
But the vampires certainly don't.
Selene. In the manor, there are a set of double staircases that go up to the second floor in the foyer. There's also a hall to your left, a hall to your right.
I think I will go left.
You will go left. You're walking down the hall. It's quiet. You don't hear the chattering or the growling sensations coming from the ballroom, which is literally straightforward from the foyer. As you're walking through this hall,
I'm keeping quiet.
Yeah.
Even though I'm invisible, I'm keeping close to the walls. So just in case.
Yeah.
Anyone. Yeah.
As you're walking down the hallway and you look out the windows, you see the lake. It's serene. It's beautiful. You see raindrops pooling out in the lake as the full moon is washing it with the light. You keep walking, and you're heading towards a section where there are a bunch of rooms. And you see the doors open. There's beds in these rooms. So you made it to the apartment section of the building. So the guest chambers of this part of the estate.
Do they look like they're being used?
There's a couple of like suitcases, and a couple of the beds are kind of like not fully made, like they've been made hastily. So people have been sleeping here. You continue going, you pass the servants' quarters. But you come to a dead end, but there is an outline of a door at the end of the hall.
I'm curious. I'm going to go and see if I can find a way towards that door.
You start touching the wall, and you feel something sink in beneath your fingers, and the door slides open to a set of stairs that go to the second floor.
I'm going to actually close the hidden area a little bit, just a crack.
Mm-hmm.
So that way it looks like it's still
It's closed, but it's not. Yeah.
But I could still open the door if I to get out of it. Yeah. And I'm gonna go up. Bless you.
Yep.
Real quick, mechanics wise.
Yes.
Carmilla has telepathy. Is she able to link with me?
Yeah, if you're willing, yeah.
Yeah, I am willing. So I think also before I parted company with the ladies, I asked Carmilla to link up with me.
Yeah, and my telepathy is between me and anyone, right? So I can relay things from Selene to Isabel just with me as the router. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna move up on the hunger and activate
You're
telepathy.
hilarious. You think that Isabella is just letting you into her head.
I'm asking. I'm not demanding. I'm knocking at the door, not kicking it in.
Knock, knock. Please let me in.
To communicate.
Keep knock, knock. No.
Isabella is not home right now, so please leave a message after the beep.
Beep.
Okay. Okay, I have the ability to like shout to Isabella if I need to, so whatever.
Oh,
like I don't.
You probably will know in the last item, maybe not because you've not been here. You need only whisper.
Yeah.
So Isabella doesn't want me around, but will listen if I actually need her. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
So
She just doesn't want you in her
a
head.
little bit of a so you know where I am. You basically are seeing through my eyes, so to speak.
Yeah, you
Um,
see a secret chamber.
and I go in and start mounting the stairs.
The stairs go up in a spiral.
Ooh.
It smells damp, dusty, mildew. Like it hasn't been opened in a very long time. You
As I
go up
yeah.
to the top of the tower. It seems like a sewing room. There's a spindle, one of the really nice big ones to make like yarn or embroidery thread. There's a basket of various cloths, some of them extremely expensive and rare. Embroidery needles. There's a half-finished embroidery still in the hoop that's aged a little bit because it's been sitting here for so long. It's like dust color. The color's slightly faded.
Of course, you know that one thing that, and one way that Selene manifests her magic, especially intentionally, it's very much with the textile arts.
Mm-hmm.
So she is probably Carmilla's a little bored because you're hearing Selene rhapsodizing. Oh my god! How can he? Carmilla, just so you know, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, um, Von Aschenberg had a wife. What if this was her sewing chamber? Look at this. And I'm going to pick up the embroidery and just kind of brush the dust off and everything.
As you're brushing off the dust, you get a tinge of a pain right behind your eye.
Oh,
Like it's
I
like a
dropped it.
migraine headache, like a sinus one where you're like getting it right there.
Yes, I know what that feels like.
Yes.
Oh. Mm. And I drop.
You drop it and you pricked yourself on the
Oh.
embroidery needle.
Mm.
Blood is dripping from your fingertip. The embroidery, as you now look down, was a piece that was being worked on. That was the family crest of the von Aschenberg. That was going to be on the corner of a. It was supposed to be a handkerchief, so it's very small. And there are the initials of AA and SVA.
I shake my head a bit to sort of. Did Carmilla feel the pain also?
Yes.
Just making idle chit chat with some tall dog and just have to like grin and bear it.
Some tall
Really.
dog.
I shake myself and still sort of rubbing at my eye. I kneel down in this dusty, misty room and I gently pick up the embroidery and I say, and inadvertently, a drop of blood falls onto this handkerchief.
It starts to spark.
Whoa, I drop it. Wait, it's sparking?
With
I
a.
drop it
Mm-hmm.
and I stamp on
It's
it
not
to
catching fire. It's like a spark of a wisp of magic coming off of the handkerchief once your blood touches it.
impute with magic.
Your mic cut out.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Carmilla, I say in your mind, this whoever made this imbued it with magic. Much like what I could do. I think von Aschenberg's wife was a magic practitioner. That's interesting. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna sort of gently tuck it in.
As you take it, there's like a warmth that goes through your body. Comfort.
Yeah, I tuck it into. I have one of those wraparound pockets,
Mm-hmm.
and I stash it into the voluminous skirt I'm wearing, and I put it in my pocket. And also, kind of inadvertently, to sort of, as the pain starts to slowly ebb away with that throb, um, that really warm throb that only something cool can soothe it. I
Mm-hmm.
go over to the window and I sort of lean my hand against the window to feel the coolness of the window pane and then press it on my eye.
That window
And
feels fantastic.
uh and I'm also rubbing absent-mindedly the locket around my neck and then sort of tuck it as yes, well, okay. All right, that's interesting. All right, I am going to descend. I'm going to leave the sewing room
Okay.
and descend the stairs, close the door, make sure there's no trace that it was disturbed, and I'm going to retrace my steps and go the other direction.
You are heading towards the halls on the right.
Yes.
You're heading towards the burnt chambers.
And
Meanwhile, in the ballroom, Von Aschenberg is like, "Can we stop calling me Steven? It is not how you say my name. It is not Steven."
Of course, Stefan.
Correct.
Ah, Sven.
Did you just call me Sven?
Yes.
Ugh. Anyways, we need to continue our discussion on how we are going to handle things in the upcoming months. Especially since Dracula is being Dracula again. He is considering taking another bride within the next 4 to 6 weeks. We are all in agreement in this room. We do not want him to have another bride. Considering the last one was 3 months ago, she only made it 3 nights. I think Dracula's exact words were she was too mouthy.
They often are.
Von Ashburg just gives a side eye to Isabella. He didn't want to have another one of you.
Oh, one is as many as he needs.
Mm.
Or can handle.
But yes, Dracula wants another bride. There's also the thing with the forest, with the werewolves, and he looks at the wolves. Y'all increasing population every month. And we haven't quite figured out who also has been helping increasing the population yet. Though we have suspicions on who it may be. Someone in Dracula's personal estate.
Scandalous.
Whatever they're doing is working. And that's all that matters. We are planning, hopefully, with all of our meticulous plannings over the last 5 years, we will be able to overthrow him. We have located where he sleeps. We have located his precious jar of dirt. The issue is, none of us can kill him. It'll have to be looks at the two. Where's the third one?
Third, you think we'd bring the baby.
I saw her in the carriage.
And
I saw her
The
get out of
carriage
the
is
carriage.
not the room where you are openly expressing this dissent. Honestly, letting any of us on the premises was a
We
very interesting choice.
You wouldn't have showed up if you weren't curious.
Oh, I think that it's an excellent plan. I just also think that you're stupid.
Hmm.
And it's gonna like pointedly look at Carmilla and then back to him.
Oh no. She won't tell him.
Oh God. I forget that none of you have ever been brides. It won't be her choice.
Well, that's because she's leaving here with no memories intact.
Oh.
We have tricks. Fun.
Memories of the night, or memories of all of it?
This conversation. All you're gonna remember is you were having a great time.
I'm sorry, did you just tell me that tonight's consequence free for me?
Yes.
She's gonna walk up to him and say,
Laughing
knew
in your head
that
right
you're
now.
laughing ahead. Now I know why you were so disgusted when you called me a good girl. You prefer them bad, and I'm going to scratch his cheek with my index finger.
I am a married man, madam.
Are you still, though, really?
I'm more than capable of handling multiple
At that moment, that
things at
chain
once.
in his hand snaps.
Ooh. Spicy.
The bones begin to snap. And you watch Isper slowly grow on his face, in his arms, in the tearing of fabric.
Boy.
The good spicy.
One of the werewolves just leans over at Isabella. You're fun.
Yes.
They should not have pissed him off.
Oh, come on. I'm not afraid of little Ashy.
You should be.
No, my fuzzy friends, I know monsters, and Ashy is not a monster.
Then what is Ashy?
A pet.
That werewolf is not. It's a bad taste in their mouth of you saying pet.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Twisting the knife, twisting the knife, twisting the knife.
Isabella's gonna get fucking lit up on Twitter.
Ah, yes, Dark Ages Twitter.
For
LOL.
the werewolf
It's
of
carrier pigeons back and forth of at 140 characters at a time.
Still locked in together, Carmilla? Yeah. Am I seeing this happen?
Yeah. Okay.
Back. Carmilla, calm down. Stare down. I'm coming back.
Oh, don't walk into this room. Oh god.
You are running
I'm not a
down
part
the
of that
hall.
conversation.
And you run into the ballroom. You see, unfortunately, Von Aschenberg hulking out big werewolf style, staring down Carmilla. Isabel possibly about to get thrown down by another werewolf, though Isabella's just having a grand old time in the corner. there's a sniff. Are you still invisible?
Yes.
Please roll for a conflict.
Ooh.
Since you're
What am I
using,
rolling?
you have your dark gift, so you get a +2.
Okay.
And you automatically start with. This isn't against Dracula, so you can do as much as you need, and any traits that apply can go as well.
Okay. Let me. Oh boy. I'm the young one. The young, slightly innocent one. Okay.
You're doing great, sweetie.
I'm gonna die. It's fine. I love this. Okay, so I can roll. So I'm starting out with 2 dice. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
I am. So what I'm going to do is, Isabella mentioned ghosts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm invisible, right? So I'm
Yep.
kind of ghosty. I am actually going to. Okay, is there something near me that I can pick up?
Oh, absolutely. There's a bunch of things you can pick up. There's a vase, there's a candlestick, there's even a little stool, there's flowers, there's plates, there's dishes, there's if it's you can think of it, it's in this room.
Okay, I'm going to pick up first a platter. I'm going to pick up a platter and I'm going to throw it like a frisbee into the middle against the wall. I'm not going to hit anybody. I'm going to just break it against the wall.
Okay.
Start poltergeisting.
Yeah, I'm going to poltergeist.
You know what? I'm not even gonna have you roll for this. Continue. I'm not.
Okay, so
The platter clatters against the wall and the room goes silent.
and then I'm going to start backing towards the doorway because my idea is I'm going to try and get this guy away from Carmilla.
The werewolf sniffs for a second. Von Aschenberg werewolf.
And then I'm going to pick up a vase and just sort of hover it in midair.
Hey, put that down. All you hear is put that down, but it's all growly. Like,
It'd be like, and now I'm going to speak. I'm going to be like, oh, this? And I'm going to pretend to, I'm going to kind of be like, oop, oop. And just sort of walking out of the room with, whoop, whoop. Come on, come on.
he stops for a second once you start talking. No. And he goes charging out of the room.
Towards me? Great,
Yeah.
I'm running. I'm going.
You're running with the vase floating in the air. You have this big hulking werewolf running after you in a panic.
Oh, this is fun. I'm so glad I chose this ability.
I
And then
have
I'm going-
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
I have an incredibly spicy Hail Mary to throw here.
Okay, what is the Hail Mary spice?
Okay, so telepathy. Can I get things from people I've not established connection with, specifically Von Aschenberg?
You're gonna have to roll for it, and it's a conflict.
Okay.
She get a bonus because I'm helping her. I'm basically being this.
I will allow
Distraction?
it. You are a distraction. I will allow you get a +1 to that.
Okay.
You're welcome.
So, whatever other information you can get from me, but I'm trying to get an image of his wife. A mental image of his
Roll
wife.
for it. Roll for it.
What am I rolling here? Deception,
Dark
temptation.
With a +1, and then whatever traits you would like to use, add to your dice pool.
Girl.
You got one,
I
and then
think-
2 more for the gift, and then however many traits, and then 1 for distraction. So
Yeah.
4 plus traits.
4 plus traits. I can probably because this will be building to a temptation, so I think I can add pillar, but
Yeah, you can.
but I don't think anything else. Okay, so 5d6.
Yep. Let me know if
Uh,
anything is above a 4.
6, 6, 4, 6, 3. That is 4 above.
4 above, okay. And were any of
Holy
them
shit.
match your hunger level?
No.
What's your hunger level?
1.
Lowest was 3. That was wow.
Okay, cool. So
Good job.
you have a
Girl.
beautiful success. You see very similar facial features to Selene, but Selene looks a little bit different now. Because, Dracula changes the features of the bride slightly when he gets his hands on them so they're unrecognizable to family members and other things. Beautiful dark green eyes, long black hair, freckles that adorn the face and the nose, a mischief glint in the eye, and yet you see her just sitting there embroidering something on a handkerchief that looks like a family crest. But the boys, you just keep hearing him repeat, that has to be Anya, that has to be Anya. She can't be dead, she can't be dead. I'm pretty sure it's Selene, I'm pretty sure it's Selene, I'm pretty sure it's Selene.
Oh, shit. Damn
Okay.
you!
Part 2 of my plan. I'm going to say to the other 2 brides that Doggy is my least favorite. And then I'm going to give Ashenberg the mental image of me changing my form to Anya and saying, one night, no memories, no consequences.
Immediately the werewolf turns and heads that way.
And I drop the vase.
Werewolf turns back towards the sound of the breaking vase.
Because I'm so relieved that she's dropped the
Again. Oh, man.
So basically, Selene leans up as soon as the werewolf turns away. She leans up against the walls like, oh, that was close. And she's so relieved she drops the face.
So the werewolf is halfway down the hall, and as it crashes, it stops, turns around, and starts heading back your way again.
I stay stock still invisible, pressed against the wall.
I'm just gonna keep the telepathy image of it's me, but not me. It's your wife or whoever.
Werewolf turns around, goes back down the hall again.
It's your wife or whoever.
And here's the thing. He knows you've been around for a bit. So he's gonna come up. I am so sorry, Carmilla. I need you to roll for me. Thanks. It's a conflict roll.
Alrighty.
Because he's gonna try to grab you by the throat.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'm trying to seduce him, so I've got all my traits.
Ah, yes. Try to seduce this man, I guess.
So 3 traits. Emotionally manipulate that moves me up in hunger, but I might have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to emotionally manipulate. So sorry. How many for the conflict, and then like is baseline, and then guiding traits.
There's 1. You always start with 1.
You always start with
We start with 1, 3 traits, and then using a dark gift gives me another 1.
+2.
2.
+2. Okay.
Oh, this is gonna be
Okay, hunger moves up to 2. Let's Oh, geez, that is another. Okay, so that is 3, 4, 4, 6.
So 3 successes. God damn.
4 successes and no hunger activation.
He's walking away.
I'm sick of my
Well,
shit.
that's only 3, right?
I'm coming back.
My hunger's at 2.
Stay away.
So.
Well, it's the same. It's 3 successes, right? 4, 4, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, there are 3 4s and a 6.
Oh.
So, describe to me how you managed to seduce this man into gaslighting him and thinking that you're his wife.
I don't think I am actually trying to gaslight him. I think I am trying to just sort of play on his weaknesses and his loneliness and his grief
That's still
to
gaslighting.
just
Continue.
that is fair. But I'm not okay. No, I should
it's like you're
rephrase that.
not.
So I'm not trying to actually make him think I'm his wife.
Mm-hmm.
I am mostly just trying to get like all of his pent up 3 years of emotion just to let it in and onto me as I dissociate. So I'll
I
just
may not be your wife, but I could be.
I'm gonna come back,
Yep.
and I'm gonna drop. I'm dropping the invisibility.
Isabella's gonna meet Selene at the door.
Go.
Because I can hear you coming back, and she's not letting you back in this room.
God.
No, walk you back down the corridor. Okay, little ghost, please go back out of the room.
As they go, I'm going to tell the both of them that this is far from the worst thing I've taken on for you two. Do what you
Carmilla
have to
has
do.
it handled for now. Don't make it worse.
Right, all right. I'll flip back invisible again and be like, all right, fine. Go and investigate the burned out.
I don't know what the fuck just happened between the two of you and the charging back and forth werewolves, but just stop.
To her.
The werewolf.
Sure, fine.
The werewolf sets Carmilla down, pats her on the head, and leaves her alone. And heads to the back part of the ballroom, towards the terrace.
Isabella's gonna walk back into the room.
And I'm gonna head to the burned out wing.
Okay. Von Aschenberg is nowhere to be seen.
We were all ready to party. Look, glare daggers over at Carmilla and just buzzkill.
Oh?
Shoot you with the little, just a little catty look. A little hurt because like put herself out there. Well, not out there, and like ready to take another one for the team. It's fine.
But the thing is, Von Aschenberg didn't push it. He left you alone. He left you alone. Meanwhile, Selena's heading towards the burnt wing.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to get there. You go in. There is... This had to be the living quarters at one point of Von Aschenberg. And family. There is burnt paintings, but all of the paintings where the bride used to sit are burnt away. But only the groom remains.
I'm gonna reach out and touch one of those.
Okay.
Interesting.
You get that headache again.
I say to Carmilla's mind, I'm sorry. So I'm gonna keep, but I feel like something's happening when I touch this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna keep going.
It's daytime.
Huh?
You're sitting on a boat in the lake in the middle of the day. You're not burning. You could feel your heart beating in your chest. There's Von Aschenberg sitting across from you. Of course, there's a picnic basket, like a little thing in the middle of the boat with, like, y'all have, like, little small, like, cheeses and fruits and stuff.
Oh my god, human food?
Human food. Even wine.
Ooh.
And there's a bit of a warm smile on Von Aschenberg's face. He's like, we escaped our wedding reception for a little bit.
I love how you pull these little tricks on us, on everybody else.
Yes. No, I do not like how Dracula was looking at you.
I didn't either. Why was he...
I'm surprised she even showed up.
I am too. I mean, he makes me feel he makes me feel ugh inside.
He puts his hand on top of yours. And you feel a chain break. As he's holding his hand in yours. Promise me you will never reveal your magic in front of him. Promise me.
Everything I can.
Because if he finds out, he will take you.
You won't take me alive.
And then the memory swirls, screams, ash, fire.
I fall to my knees and I'm like,
Dracula's taking you away. And you see your husband laying on the ground, bleeding, being torn into by a werewolf. A werewolf that you saw recently.
pouring down my cheeks. And I now remember how hot those tears felt.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is going to be the last true warmth of myself as human.
Mm-hmm.
As Anya. And I'm also feeling another heat coming out of my rapidly cooling body, and it's the blood that's gushing out of my neck and bathing my hands and bathing the ground as I'm being yanked away, and I feel his arm around me like an iron band, and I can't fight anymore. And with my last scream and with my blood, I'm throwing sparks hit the ground and start going towards her house. And now I come back to myself and I'm collapsed and holding my head in my arms and sorrow so deep inside me I can't even. It hurts. It hurts. And I say in my mind, did you see all that?
I saw that, didn't I?
Yeah, homie.
Okay, yeah, so secondhand experiencing like the worst moments of someone else's life while I make small talk with a large Bichon. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I try to be comforting and but do admit that I do see that back. But I am just maybe not even words, but just like telepathically trying to soothe and assure that Selene that she's not alone in this, even though she's way up there.
You're soothing your younger sister wife. And she is so young. And the fact is, she is the first one out of the both of you to remember something of that previous life. There's that tiny, tiny burning ember of jealousy. She might be the first one of you to be actually successfully leave.
Oh, it's a good thing Isabella is not in this.
No, she might be able to leave. But there's also that tinge of hope of like, there's a possibility now we can leave. Because you felt that snap of the bond from her. You're further along, but now you are on the same level. And Carmilla, you realize in this moment, oh my god, this is possible. Now you gotta figure out how to get Isabella out of this too. Because between the three of you, you're the most close-knit of any of Dracula's brides. Yes, it's a little distorted and sometimes toxic and petty and catty, but you three actually communicate with each other more so than any of Dracula's previous wives. It's a chance for y'all to go, and the fact is you now know who von Aschenberg's actual wife is. You can manipulate the thing into your hands to have von Aschenberg help. And that von Aschenberg may have contacts that y'all do not have. You have the playing card, Carmilla. What are you gonna do with it?
I think first I'm going to ask Selene telepathically. First, check in and see how she's doing and how she's holding up.
Mm-hmm.
Dream. This isn't a dream. It's true. I want to see him. I
Yeah.
do. What do I do? I
I'll go first. Then, sort of realizing what she is known for and what she's already proposed. I'm not going far, but I'll go first and set the way
Okay.
for you two to meet back up. How much of this do you want Isabel to know?
yet.
Okay.
But
I think maybe 30 seconds after Aschenberg walks away, Isabella will realize that Carmilla didn't actually succeed at what she was trying to do. She seduces people. She stopped him from raging and then he fucked off, which means that she didn't succeed at mind fucking him, which means he is a much more useful ally than she thought. And tear off to try to find him.
We'll get to you in a second.
Yeah.
I think, Carmilla, I think maybe. Don't tell Isabella who I am just yet, but maybe tell her that von Aschenberg could probably help us more than we thought.
Okay. I'll relay to Isabella that Ashenberg is probably much more useful an ally than we thought, and we should probably find him, smooth things over, and work through some stuff. And then to Selene, I'm going to ethically say that whatever is going to wipe my memory of this night might already be in effect, and I will be blank slated. The privileges of the favorite. I need you to swear that you will give all this back to me voluntarily when we're sort of just, and I'm going to not just what you know, but I'm going to, everything I've got and sort of experience, I'm going to sort of use Selene as like a external storage device and sort of give as much of what I have gleaned and experienced tonight to her as possible. And then with that, I will, if I still have the connection to von Aschenberg, do I know where he is?
He's on the terrace.
maybe
Which, speaking of, Nova, you find him on the terrace. You find him, Isabella. You find him. He is kind of just standing there in his tattered clothes, smoking out of his pipe, leaning up against the terrace. He's not hulking out anymore. He just looks like a very ragged man right now.
I think Isabella is going to just kind of not barrel into him exactly. Is he like balcony looking outward, or like leaning on balcony looking back toward
Towards the
cool
ballroom.
so I think she's going to walk with a purpose, you know, that very aggressive posture, you know, like I'm here to fuck you up, and then kind of just at the last minute turn and just sort of, you know, crash into the balcony next to him. And that was impressive. You know, getting furry, it was surprising. I don't know that I would have seen it coming. It's scary. You could have been scarier, really. You probably should be. But I've never seen someone just ignore Carmilla before.
She's not my wife.
That doesn't matter. It never matters. The important thing is...
Also, she's not my type.
That also doesn't matter. Thing she can do.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing Dracula can do. I know this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big part of what makes him so hard to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
How? And don't shit about not being your type. How did you resist? What do you have? What trick?
He gives the sigh, and he will pull something out of his coat pocket. There's a lock of hair, dark hair. And just puts it back into the pocket. But there's a ribbon that seems to be a handmade ribbon. The stitching, part of it is a little clumsy, part of it is really well done. But it is definitely something that was made in care. But you can smell the magic off of it. And just, he puts it into his coat pocket.
An interesting trick. One that you can replicate.
No. Only my wife can.
Fucking snarl and smash part of the fucking balcony. Of course.
It was
Isabella
something
not
my
knowing
wife
shit
made.
about it. Not as useful as I thought. Well,
Not as useful. Hmm. You can just have a conversation and ask me what assets I have.
big, strong wolves, I'm sure, and more than you
Wolves
thought that you
and
would. Who
hunters.
would think?
And hunters, including the set that almost killed you in the village 6 months ago?
Almost killed. Hunters are useful, though. Wait. How do you have a good relationship with hunters? They don't like your kind either.
Sometimes you can bribe them. Money talks. Do you want to
You
talk
mentioned a
to
jar
him?
of dirt.
Yes, a jar of dirt.
Means that you know about his soil.
Yes, it's in an urn.
You know where it is.
Helga told me it was in her room. Helga. He looks disgusted. Was the first one to try to trick me into believing she was my wife.
Ooh. Oh, sometimes she does fuck up so beautifully. I'm going to rub that all in Milla's face later. Not even the first one to try the trick.
No.
Good. Well, I guess it's all down to planning then.
Mm-hmm.
I have plans of my own. I hadn't planned on actually involving, well, you all in it because it's very, very difficult to get into the wood and communicate with all of you wolves without just being chased around.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can drive Dracula out of his seat of power, somewhere easily ambushed,
Mm-hmm. And keep him busy till the
together, I
sun
think that we can
rises?
fight him. Oh. We needn't even necessarily if we have the soil. If we make sure the soil is somewhere he can never get it again. We need not accomplish it all in one night.
Mm.
Hmm.
Maybe
Anyway,
put it in Griselda's manor. He won't go there.
or
Put it in the convent.
safely locked away and consecrated in
Oh,
a mausoleum.
that made you feel so uncomfortable, didn't it?
It does stick in the throat. Anyway, yes. My plan was just to, well, she'll, with a wave of her hand, transform, an arm into a wolf paw, uh, uh, make a show of slaughtering all of his staff, but she'll let her hand, go back to, her own hand. But that'll certainly be easier with the help of some actual pups.
You know most of us get insulted by being called that, right?
Oh, dear me. Are you sensitive to being demeaned? Must be
Mm.
so hard.
It must be so hard to be caged by a man who just likes to anger you to get his rocks
It
off.
is. That's the fucking point. You live in such convenience out here in your own fucking
Convenience.
house.
Convenience. There is no convenience.
I'm gonna rip this dude's fucking arm off. I can't. I'm gonna rip this dude's fucking arm off. I can't. I cannot even.
Sure,
Oh
roll.
no.
I just. Oh yeah,
No.
no. We're gonna talk about losing things. Isabella gonna lose her shit.
I will give you a
Um,
+2 to this.
excellent. I am absolutely my conviction here that every drop of spilled blood brings me closer to freedom.
Oh, love that for you.
Uh, uh, I feel like the appearance of my eyes burned with an unquenchable fire might be applicable, might not here.
Correct.
I am
Add that on.
definitely got the 2 dice for the gift. I'm gonna put that right there real quick.
My God. This is
So
great.
1 and then 2 more and then 2 dice for the gift and then 1 for that and then 1 for that. Where am I at? Yeah, okay, cool. Give me just a second here. So there's 1, 2, 3. That is 4 successes, and 2 of them are equal to or lower than my hunger.
So I have 2 influence over you. Cool. I'm gonna use that now.
Yep. Okay,
So
fair.
please describe on how you brutally murder this man.
Oh no!
And how you
Oh
drain him dry.
no!
And how you drain him dry.
Okay, we get into it. Um, I think that it starts. She's just incensed, and I think it is her. The influence is very much her diving into not just how privileged this fuckhead is to think that having lost just his family is pain. uh that uh but that he can't know that the level of there is this just deep dark well of pain that has been building and building and it builds and it gets shoved down and it builds and it gets shoved down and you can't survive centuries of rage and dealing with a physically destructive source of that rage without learning how to shove some of it down or losing yourself entirely. And I think what happens is just that there is that you fucking dare lets out a whole flood of you could never understand, and she grabs his arm to pull him in, to be
Mhm.
threatening, because that the goal here is just you motherfucker. Um and does is just is detaching in the anger from the physical here enough that just that not even violently intentioned tug, that come to me and listen, just yanks his arm free. He tears at the flesh, tears at the shoulder, and as she grabs for him to speak, uh, she gets partially through the "you will never know," and her face sort of distends out into something that is somewhat lupine, and horns curl outward from her head. Spikes come up. Her just aberrant mutations of this power in different directions, and instead of leaning into speak, she just extends her mouth out and grabs the side, that ear side of his head, and just pulls and tears,
Mm-hmm.
and just shreds him, and you know, probably herself somewhat in the process, and the balcony edge, and just rips.
As you are doing this, you feel lighter. Chains breaking. Isabella, you're 2 steps away from being free. 2 steps
Oh,
away.
oh, oh.
And yet, deep down, once you finally come to and you see the aftermath, you killed a potential ally.
Oh yeah, a good
You
one.
feel that humanity go, but I need you to roll a corruption roll. Roll the
Oh
amount of
yeah.
dice that is your
Uh,
hunger.
my hunger currently. Okay.
I think you were at 2, if not 3.
I'm at 3.
So roll 3 die.
I had 2, a 3, and a 6. No one's in that.
You're fine. Yes.
And I think at the end of this, she's just. I want to say, like, I'm taking ragged breaths in and out, and she wouldn't be, but just like claws buried into the stone here and shaking.
It's the sensation of wanting to breathe again. That's what you're going through.
Yeah, the pulling and not even knowing what it feels like to use those muscles because I haven't in so long.
Dracula no longer has 2 influence over you. Meanwhile, we are going to be wrapping this up within 15 minutes. So, as a reminder, Carmilla.
I was going to ask, can I walk onto the balcony moments after?
You see the aftermath. And you see Isabella trying to regather themselves. You've only seen them lose it a few times over the many years you two have known each other. This is probably the most severe in comparison to like Igor or one other servant or something or another. And yet, you were supposed to bring Selene here.
I'm still in your head, aren't I?
I'm not sure for how long, because I think with the ups and downs and all of the emotion going around, I think you just feel the telepathic link break. I'm not even
Suddenly,
sure if you.
you feel suddenly shunted out. You see
Yeah.
them heading towards the balcony, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Coming.
I think just under the weight of all the emotion and just being like seeing light at the end of the tunnel and seeing it snuff out. I think Carmilla's gonna have a bit of like a panic attack breakdown by the body of von Aschenberg.
Okay. So Selene shows up at this point on the balcony.
Oh.
Carmilla's having an emotional panic attack breakdown next to the body of von Aschenberg. Isabella is trying to gather herself. And then there's poor Selene standing in the doorway.
My steps are like lead as I enter the room, as I enter the terrace. And I sink to my knees. His face, though, is still surprisingly whole. He's aged so much, and I'm reaching out and I'm touching his face. It's still so warm. The little stubble. He would never have had a stubble while I was around.
No.
And that pipe, I kept telling him to stop smoking. And now it's right right there. Just rolling out of his right hand. And I take it and hold it to me, and I smell the tobacco. And I press it to my chest. And his blood is still so warm. Could there be a chance? Could I bring him back? And I hesitated that moment of indecision.
The shadows lengthen.
I'm going to kneel down and I'm going to start taking some of his blood into me and beginning that alchemy. I've seen this happen. And I have actually wanted to do this deep down in my heart. And then I sit up with his blood on my mouth. And I look at Carmilla and I look at Isabella and I say, I am Anya von Aschenberg. And I need my husband. And I am going to slit my wrist. And I am going to bring it to his mouth. And I whisper in his ear, forgive me, but I promise we will meet the sun together. And I am going to try and bring him back.
I think on that note, we're gonna leave it here for this episode.
Oh.